Hi guys, and welcome back to another DrAce video, and today we're going to be playing Ride 4, and it's time for the 48th weekly challenge here in Ride 4, and it's going to be on board the Harley Davidson Livewire at Road Atlanta. So if you didn't know, I guess you do now, this is an electric motorcycle, so of course no gears, it's just simply one gear, and you're going to be maxing out roughly 105, 110 miles an hour depending on where you are on the circuit. Now, it's a relatively easy challenge, this one. The bike is actually not too bad to use. Out of all the Harley Davidsons, it's pretty decent. You can get by with it. But in the aim of this video today is going to be helping you get the goal lap time on this particular track here in Road Atlanta. We've got to get a 1:42.200, and that will give us the goal lap time. But as long as you follow my advice and stick with the same lines, or very, very similar lines, you should be absolutely fine. So now going into the right-hander, for the very difficult turn 7, it's easy to either overshoot it or brake too early, so just be very careful for that one, and the same can be said for turn 8 as well. But now it's another long acceleration point, so we'll get onto the left hand side ever so slightly and just bring on the acceleration. We are going to max out now at around 110, 111, maybe 112 miles an hour, even got up to 113 temporarily there, but it's going to literally sit there now till the end of this lap. I've not touched anything regarding setups. I know you guys usually ask me that question, and the electronics I'm running right now is only engine braking at 2, everything else is turned off. Well, now onto the left hand side for turn 11, we'll try and position it in the middle of the track to then launch it to the right hand side for turn 12, careful in acceleration and stay over here to the middle of the track. Don't go too left and don't go too right there, otherwise you might find yourself just trying to readjust and reapply the acceleration instead of just going down there in a nice firm way. I'll show you what I mean on the next lap. So the first lap is done, 1:36.8, easy enough. So now into the first corner, you're just going to let go of the acceleration ever so slightly, tucking in and keeping it to the right-hander very, very tightly. Move the bike into the middle of the track and now position to the left-hand side. So use that rumble strip as a bit of a guide on when to start braking. If you get to that rumble strip, just consider letting go of the acceleration or even applying some brakes. So now into the right-hand side, keep it tight to the apex here, just reducing the acceleration in some of those corners. You don't want to go full ball there because you can sometimes overshoot the corner. Braking a little bit for turn 6 and then slowly on the exit, do not go across that white line. It can be a bit odd sometimes. Sometimes it'll let you continue on the track and sometimes it'll invalidate you immediately. So just be very, very careful. But now going into turn 7 for turn 8. Brake here. I braked a little bit too late there for my liking. We will change that up later on in the video, but for the time being you can still get through absolutely fine even if you do brake a little bit later. But I would advise braking a little bit earlier. So unfortunately with this challenge you are going to have to listen to this bike screaming a hell of a lot for these long straights. I don't think they've picked the best track in the world for this bike, but it's not too bad as well. You know, it's a good track in general. The Livewire is not bad either, I guess. It's not the best challenge in the world, but anyway, braking at the 100-meter marker, braking before the rumble strip that appeared on your right-hand side. Keep it nice and tight here. Hold the line to the left-hand side and position in the middle. If you're going to go near that white line, you'll be in a good spot, but don't follow the white line because that will take you to the right-hand side. Now, braking for that final corner, a little bit difficult to get right. It's one of those ones you're going to have to probably play around with. I wasn't happy with mine until the last lap that I did, and we've only done 5 laps in the end of this video. But now onto the right-hand side, keeping it tight to the apex, just reducing the throttle ever so slightly. No brake was applied. Now onto the left-hand side, look at the rumble strip. You're in the middle of the rumble strip. Begin to start braking left to the right to the left to the right, and that, it sounds like a rap, but it wasn't. It was just telling you to get into the flip-flop section in that sort of way. And now onto the left-hand side for turn 5. Chuck it in ever so slightly and begin to brake here. Brake when the bike is straight, and you shall have a better stability when bringing on the brakes. As mentioned on the lap before, I did actually cut the corner ever so slightly there on the white line. No penalty, no invalidation, so you're good to go. Now onto the right hand side, keep it tight. Keep it very tight to the apex, but don't touch that rumble strip on the right hand side because it can be quite lethal. Braking earlier for turn 8 has made massive dividends. You can see now to the ghost in the bottom left hand corner of your screen, we have quite the advantage, and when the second split comes up any moment now, we'll get a good indication of how much tenths we gained just by braking a little bit better going into that corner. So 0.6 of a second is what we earned from braking that a little bit earlier and not as aggressive. So on the downhill section, keep an eye to your braking markers on the right hand side. 100 meters approaching, brake just between that and the rumble strip and you should be absolutely fine. If you want to brake earlier there, go for it. I wouldn't advise braking any later. Now for the Fox Factory bridge there, position yourself in the middle. It's very important to position yourself in the middle of that track there. just so you can see where you're going. You'll get a good indication of where you need to be and when you need to start braking if you stay in the middle of the track there, because the track on your left actually closes in, which puts you in the perfect spot for braking. So just bear that in mind for when you go in there. I'll try and explain how to do the final corner in just a moment's time as well. I'm going to be doing 2 more laps here yet at least, so we'll be doing what we can to hopefully drill it into you guys so you know exactly how to tackle the Michelin Road Atlanta circuit with the Harley Davidson Livewire. So keep following those rumble strips, keep sticking to them, get to the right hand side here for the rumble strip and begin to brake when the bike is level. As I mentioned on the previous lap, bike stability is much better on braking when the bike is straight. If you're going to be on the side, you need to be very careful with the trail braking. So we're going to be braking just after the pagoda here on the left hand side of your screen, bringing in nice and tight for the right hand of turn 7, brake nice and early like we did on the previous lap, keep it tight to the apex, and then slowly bring on acceleration. I got a little bit eager there. You could see on your screen the bike going a little bit sideways. That's a combination of too much acceleration and also applying the tuck-in button when I wasn't actually preparing myself for the actual straight. Because of course, if you're going to tuck in, you need to make sure that you've got smooth acceleration, otherwise the bike's going to snap. So be very, very careful. Now onto the downhill section once again. Should be well and truly clear to you right now. 100 meter marker. Begin to brake either there or just at the rumble strip. You've got to go from anywhere between there. Go with what you feel is best. We're going to go position ourselves in the middle of the track. Disappears, gets a little bit tighter. Begin to brake here as you can see those really thick, deep black lines on the track there. Once you see that part, you're ready to start braking. It's nice and easy on the brakes. Just bring it down with the left trigger and begin to apply a little bit of rear brake as well. So now onto the right hand side for turn 1, keep it tight. Actually ran across the rumble strip there with a lot of acceleration applied. Didn't really gain any extra time, but it's certainly worth noting that you can do that. Going into the flip-flop section, a little bit messy and also cutting the corner ever so slightly, and somehow the lap still continues. So if you want to gain a bit more time there and you're struggling and maybe you're at a 1:42.1 or something like that, or maybe you're not close enough to the gold, maybe just cut that corner ever so slightly if you want to. Hey ho, it's a free country, you do what you like. But we're now going to the right hand. Keep an eye on that pagoda to your left there. It's a good braking marker to chuck it into the right hand side for turn 7, and then make sure you get it nice and early here for your right hander. I made a little bit of a hash of that one, getting a little bit too out of shape. Once again on the acceleration, just losing a little bit too much, applying too much rear brake with a bike that isn't really that powerful. Kind of backfires on you, so just be very careful if you are a little bit heavy on the rear brake. But going into the second split, we are ahead by 40,000th of a second, and we will now charge down the back straight in a moment's time. Certainly doesn't feel like charging down, but nevertheless we are going to round brake just at the rumble strip. Keep it nice and tight, slowly flick it to the right hand side. Nothing abrupt, nothing too extravagant, just nice and calm, nice and smooth. Now keep an eye out for the black lines on the track. Begin to brake, keep it nice and tight to the apex, begin to hold the trail brake, and then fire it out of the corner to hopefully improve your lap time once more. So across the line we will go to 1:35.636. So that is the end of my little run there with the Harley Davidson Livewire. All 5 laps so you've just seen. If you want to compare these with your times to understand where you're going wrong, definitely do so now. You can pause the video or even come back later and check it out. But now we'll take a look at the leaderboards, and unfortunately for myself, not quite up there in the top 3, not a podium position, but honestly, I'm not a big fan of the track, not a big fan of the bike, so that'll do for me. And the main objective of this one is to teach you guys how to get the goal lap time. And if you did, that's all that matters to me. And if you did, let me know in the comment section down below. And if you really enjoyed it, hit the like button and consider subscribing as well. More than happy to welcome more aces into our community. But upon that note, guys, thanks for watching as always, and I'll see you in the next video. Ciao for now.
Oh hi, didn't quite see you there. Good to see you're still here. If this video didn't quite set your appetite, then why not watch some more DrAce content by clicking the video shown on screen now. Furthermore, if you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so now with the links down in the description. Consider subscribing so you don't miss a single DrAce video.